and/or associates.
Lisa and Robyn are two fun friends diving deep into conversations where nothing is taboo. They believe in eating dessert before dinner and wearing the bikini. They're allergic to labels, authority, and cheap shoes. Currently, they're launching themselves through life being the good time, bold enough to take risks and inquisitively asking, what's next? They hail from New Hampshire, but they could be anywhere dressed in cute clothes. If they had to share a tombstone, it would read, "Curiosity killed these cats." Your hosts, Lisa and Robyn, on the mic.
Welcome to Lisa and Robyn on the mic. You are listening on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live, YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. Welcome to another Thursday. I am here with Miss Robyn.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Coming in hot. Oh my gosh.
And we are here to tell you that the 2024 election is over. Yay. You will not have any more text messages. Please vote for me. Please donate to me. What are you going to do?
Or garbage in your mailbox or on your front porch. Like, it's time to take the signs down off the road.
It's time to take the signs down. They never made a difference anyways. You were just spending a ton of money unnecessarily.
Oh my God.
We knew what we were doing. And and if your feelings are hurt, because people do have hurt feelings when their person doesn't win, what I'm just going to say to you is take solace in the fact that we don't have to have those stupid ads on television that are infuriating.
God, yes.
We don't have to talk about it anymore. It's done for the next X amount of years. And we should relish in the fact that we're going to be political ad free for at least a couple of years until the local elections. But just let's all rejoice in a moment of normalcy where we're not just all focused on only one thing.
Yes. So before we get on to it, like I just have a few things I want to say about political. Look, I still have all my.
Okay, I have my sword. You have all your fortune cookies.
Except mine.
Chris has yours.
Right. He's still holding it, you know. Anyway, so I actually listened. If you have not checked out Joe Rogan's podcast with Donald Trump, it's definitely worth the listen.
And J.D. Vance.
And J.D. Vance. So I was listening to his podcast the other day with Tim Dillon. And,
J.D. Vance's?
Yes. Well, I was listening to Joe Rogan and Tim Dillon.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And they happened to be talking about it, that he had J.D. Vance on, and he had actually had asked Kamala to be on too, but she was like, you'll have to fly out to me. I can only give you 45 minutes. And they were talking about, 45 minutes you can BS somebody. But when you're on a podcast for 2 hours, 3 hours, you don't have that ability, because...
I would say let her try for 45 minutes.
You're going to come out. It's going to come out. But 3 billion views on J.D. Vance. 3 billion views.
With a B.
Yes.
Wow.
3 billion views. And Trump on YouTube had 40 million.
Wow.
40 million views. So I didn't go through all the platforms, and I couldn't remember what number he was. But
when I didn't know a lot about J.D. Vance from Ohio. And so you're like, oh, why did he pick him? I don't know the first thing about him. And then you listen to him, and he's intelligent and articulate, and he actually cares about people. Like the people, he's curious.
He doesn't sound like a politician at all.
He doesn't sound like a politician at all.
And I fell in love.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, oh, now I understand, why he was.
Do you know that he was a corporal in the Marines?
Yes.
A 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing. He also wrote the Hillbilly Elegy or whatever. Now, and I was like, they made a movie out of it. I didn't see it, but I'm like, now I'm going to watch it.
I want to read the book, actually. I'm a book person, so I'm going to read the book. I know they did a really good job with it. I know it got well, when they first announced him, I was like, what is he known for writing this book? And it's like, well, they should have said he's really known for being...
Right. Well, but I also, his book talks about his childhood. It talks about poverty. It talks about his mom has, suffered with drug addiction. His grandparents raised him. Like, just a cool human being.
Well, and also that he overcame
obstacles.
And I think when people talk about politics, don't you really just want someone capable? Don't you sort of feel, and I feel this way sometimes. Sometimes I forget that I'm the adult out in the world paying bills and taxes and doing the responsible thing. And you're thinking like, I can't believe they're letting me drive this car. Or I can't believe I'm going to do whatever. And then you remember, no, I'm an adult. I've been on the planet a long time. I have a lot of experience. I know all of that. But when it comes to the level of government overseeing such a large population of people with such large problems, you really want capable people in that position.
Yes.
Because if you don't have capable people, you're worried in your day-to-day life. It's like living with drug addict parents.
Yes.
You never know what's going to happen.
Yes.
You never know what they're going to say and how they're going to embarrass you. You never know. You don't trust them to do the right thing, so you're always worried about them. Where if you have some capable people in government and they're representing your best interests, you can feel like, okay, for a moment, let me just not worry about things I have no control over, because I don't control over anything in the federal government.
Right.
And, but when you have no control over it and you're trusting other people to do it and you think they're not doing a good job, but that you don't trust them.
It's girl politics. That's we're talking girl politics.
Well, people can make fun of girl politics, but I know that I'm the luckiest woman in the world to be born in the United States at this time of the world.
Yes.
We watched the movie Apocalypto. Have you ever seen that movie?
Tell me about it.
It's about the tribes before like a specific area was colonized, and it's just one tribe, this hunter tribe, getting attacked and then sacrificed to the other tribe to appease the god because their crops are bad.
I feel like it. I feel like it. But
And you're like, guy or girl, sucks to be them in that time of history.
Sucks to be you.
And the whole movie is just being, enslaved and then running from being enslaved.
Yeah.
And when you see them sacrificing, they cut off the head in front of mounds of people, and the bodies the head goes rolling down, then the bodies get put down, and then they have to get pushed off into the side with the flies and the rotting corpses. And like, maybe that has something leaching into your water, might have something to do with your bad crops.
Right.
I don't want to be the witch off in the corner giving you advice, and now I'm going to be seen as
Right.
burner. I just am stating the obvious.
Right. You just put a scarlet letter on you.
Right. So at the end of that, I said, I thought that was a terrible movie because he gets away, and then the white man is coming from the ships rowing in, and you're like, he's got a whole nother set of challenges.
What else?
But the thing was, these tribes were portrayed as whatever nationality they were, but it was just one of those things of.
I feel like that was my Monday.
But why I'm bringing this up is any other time in history is horrible. Whatever challenges we have, we're still making progress year over year from what it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago. So you can say whatever you say about my girl politics, but I also have girl economics too, which might be different language than they use in a textbook, but is real life.
Right.
You can see it, you can point to it, you can make it better or make it worse. You can make fun of my politics all you want, but
it's just not all the fluff. It's like you get the concept of it, move on.
Yes.
Like you get the concept of it. You don't have to attach. But I do want to say,
I don't want to talk like a politician in a circle around it and come back, and then when you say, "Did she answer the question?"
Right.
I don't want to be that.
Right.
I want to be like, she's just glad she's not being headless in a tribe. Whatever you take away from my fears, my fear of cannibalism is my fear of communism, and there's a real legitimate fear for that.
Yes.
There's historical proof. So,
And it still happens.
and that's why I am for
we
democracy.
looked at it. We Googled
Republic.
it. We Googled it. There was still they eat all parts of the body.
Yes, because you know why? They're starving.
Yes.
There's a famine. There's no crops. Part of that tribal, hey, we need to decapitate this group.
Others have, but I wonder if they do like the skin. Do they make jerky out of that, or
Probably wear it. I have no idea. But when it was really funny,
Silence on
I
the lambs.
looked up cannibalism, and I know you're like, how did we get from the 2024 election to cannibalism? But we
just do.
got here. And AI says it's a survival technique, and that it's also done for ritual and whatever. It never mentions like serial killer
right.
craziness. Because
Want to do it for pleasure.
right, it has no emotion to it, but that's our fear, right?
Yes.
Everyone has the fear. That's the zombie fear, the fear of being eaten.
Yes.
Which is why you have to vote for people who don't have that ideology, because you think, wouldn't it be great if everyone was equal? Wouldn't it be great if, and when you say that, it sounds really inflammatory. Of course, I want everyone to have equal rights,
Right.
but we all come from a different place of with different things. We have different skill sets. We have different physical challenges. We have different mental challenges. We're not going to be all vying for the same 6 positions because we're equal for them. Everyone has their own gifts.
But I think politics, you know, in every field, but politics too have shown. Look at J.D. Vance. He grew up in poverty. You know, look at Kamala Harris. You know, was the first, you know, vice president, you know, a black woman, and Asian too, to hold an office of political, you know, even Obama, like we've made history. People have made history. So despite your, you know, so we all do have an equal playing field. We all have the same advantages or same opportunities
in our country.
And sometimes sometimes our mountains, you know, our mountains are a little bit higher than others, but we still have, I mean, we've proven it. Even like football, you know, athletes, movie stars, people in political positions of power.
Judges.
Yes.
People in the police force.
But not to go too far down that road. I happen to say, so I didn't watch any of the debates. I didn't watch any of that stuff because it's not going to sway my mind. It's not going to change my opinion. And why bring that aggravated stress to myself?
Yeah, it doesn't seem true in the debate sense of you stay your position.
But I'm not interested in listening to 2 people attack each other. I don't care if I'm for both of you or for, I don't care.
You know, I joked when I was 18 and I watched it, they're all talking about Social Security and if you don't do this, we're going to have no money for the firefighters and the police or the schools. And it never really changed off that. And it's like, you guys say every 4 years you're for the right way to fix that. And we still, 4 years later, have to talk about the same problem. So I don't think you're fixing anything back there.
No.
I don't need to listen to your lie.
But I don't care about all that banter. I will take the highlight reel and I would read something because then I feel like with reading it, I can scan through and I can filter out what I'm going to put into my brain. But so Chris had sent me a link and said, you know, the Bloomberg report, and I was watching it and going down. And it was like how the stock market, how people are betting on the stock markets and watching how, and they said it's like 80%, 86% accurate of like the predictions from watching the stock market, who's going to be the next president. And I just happened to say like the first thing when I woke up that next morning, the thing that came up was the stock market, you know, we're at a record 14, like was it, I think I screenshotted it. The Dow soars over 1,400 points on the way to a historic post-election gain.
So is it true? And I think someone told me this who worked for RBC Financial, that it's always the same. It doesn't matter who actually gets elected, but the certainty of knowing who it is. It doesn't even matter which political group, but that fact that markets don't like uncertainty.
Yeah. And
before an election is uncertainty. So it doesn't actually matter who the person is, but she's pretty intelligent. I'll ask.
So the
I'll ask
Dow
her.
Jones jumps 1,500 points to seal the largest post-election advance since 1896.
So the largest post-election.
But I think that the last time Trump was in office, the stock markets went through the roof.
Mm. Well, he's business friendly.
Well, yeah, and he is for it. And just listening to them. So before we move on, I didn't want to do a whole lot. Trump had 38 million on YouTube.
Wow, isn't it funny J.D. Vance had more? I wonder if we were really curious on who he was.
That was over the whole thing, and that was just because I heard Tim Dillon and I could get it. But then they had talked about it earlier on, and I was like, oh, that was interesting. I didn't want to go back through 3 hours and like trying to find the spot. So, you know, we always talk about how you do anything is how you do everything. And one thing that I thought was really, really crappy is the fact that, you know, I turned the TV on. Like I don't watch any of the stuff. I turned it on. I had to figure out how to like
use the remote.
Well, use the remote and actually how to get a channel, like a news channel. And then I'm like, oh, which one do I want? Like, I don't want to do like, so I watched a little bit of all of them because it's like live streaming. And I was like, oh, there it is. So I picked one. I'm listening to it. Everything seems pretty
Vanilla.
Yes, but I'm watching like the parties, like the night of the election, and Kamala is at Howard University, her alma mater. Like there's like glow lights, and there's all these parties, and there's people screaming and music and performances, and like just this whole shebang and everything. And the fact that she did not come out that night to speak to the people that came to vote for her and to party with her and celebrate or even be with you in your loss.
Yes.
She didn't show up. She came out the next day and said something, and it was some of the takeaways from it, and then try to find it now. It's harder to go through and find it on the media. But as it was happening, and of course, I'm up at 3:00 in the morning and I'm watching this. So, I must have gotten ahead of the news people.
The deleters, the editors.
Yes. But I'm watching, like, they were talking about and interviewing some of the people, how disappointed they were. And it's like, but how you do anything is how you do everything. These were your people that showed out.
They gave you money. They gave you $1 billion.
Yes.
And they're here.
And you can't even go.
And you can't even graciously say we ran a good campaign. Whatever your.
Thank you for your support. If you can't say anything else. Hey, thank you for having my back. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for believing me. We'll get them next
says,
time.
How you do anything is how you do everything. And the fact that you can't even show up for your people then. Anyway, I'm done.
You can't even show up for a party. So we're going to talk about how to have fun. Because the election's over. We're having fun.
And how many millions of dollars were spent on that party to celebrate you? And you just poo-poo.
Right. You're a sore loser.
All the people.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I don't want.
Is she a sore loser or is she absolutely exhausted? Did she pass out from all of the stress?
Probably.
Could you imagine being her during that time?
No, I don't think you could. Like, if you were running for that and it was that big of a deal, you might be exhausted.
And you weren't even voted by the people
you'd be, taking, no-dose or something to, keep yourself awake. Even the anxiety and the stress of just, watching the numbers come in. I couldn't watch it because I would stay up.
Right.
It's like a train wreck. You can't turn away. You can't take your eyes off of it.
So
I can't look away.
But we did celebrate yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Happy election is over. And like I said, hopefully there's a group of people who are happy that their person won, and there's a group of people that are unhappy that their person lost. You don't have to go onto social media and say that you're embarrassed to be an American. I was seeing that a lot. And it's you understand that this is a two-party system for now. May change in the future. Right now it's a two-party system, so one party's going to be winning and one party's going to be losing. And that switches on and off depending on what happens.
It's ebb and flow. We all have our times.
And it's supposed to be to balance each other out.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
There is something to two parties where one group pulls like a tug of war in one direction, another group pulls a tug of war in another direction, and hopefully you find a nice, happy, fat middle. Right? To me, that's what a two-party system. Where an 8-party system just seems like chaos to me.
There's too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
Yes, that's what I think an 8-party system would be. But again, we know everything. My whole entire political system is off of cannibalism during the Soviet Union in 1920-something or whatever year that was. Maybe it was 40-something. Anyways, we have this wonderful Captain Nemo pirate cruise.
Yes.
Sword. Do you want to tell us
to Tim
about the sword? Do you want to lay out the story?
It was in the back of my car. No, you can set it up.
Okay, so I have to explain to your spouse how you ended up in Florida with me, because he was like, I have no idea. She just got on a plane and left the following day. So I
literally, when you have a friend that calls and says, hey, I'm going to go to Florida, and you were actually talking about Monday. You're thinking like, hey, we're going to go on Monday.
It's
thinking
Friday.
About 10 days, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do 10 days. And you're like, all right. And I'm like,
she needs to come. We need to do disaster together. Because if I'm going to have fun with anyone in disaster, it's going to be Robyn. So I bring Robyn to the disaster, and then we try to have some fun. We go on Captain Nemo's pirate ship. They do a beautiful sunset tour.
Oh my goodness.
From Clearwater out. They do the intercoastal, and then they come out and they go back to the intercoastal. And they hand out, because they're a pirate ship, they hand out swords, which we get a hold of.
Yes.
And so
I think you had to buy them. I wasn't sure if you had to buy them or like because of that cleaning crew. I don't know if he bought swords for everybody, but we were lucky.
we got swords.
Yes, we got swords.
We'll just say that we got swords. We didn't pay for them, but we got swords. And they weren't stolen. We will follow that up. So Robyn comes off. She's got my sword and her sword. And she's on a sunset high. It's good music, good people.
Yes, we had some good laughs. we
Beautiful
danced.
scenery. You do a little laughing. Do a little dancing. And she comes off. And I joke that John's grandmother in her 90s would all of a sudden get up and cook guamki and be all happy because her family was over. We call
Yes.
it the family high.
Yes.
Right? So it's the fun high.
Yes.
It's the high from having fun, right? She comes off. She's got 2 swords. She's doing Keanu Reeves
Well, I was
moves.
trying to do some like ninja moves.
Yeah,
man.
she was
like,
trying to do ninja
wanted
moves.
to do some like sword fighting, like
So these people who are just walking by the pirate ship, who are not part of the pirate ship. She walks up to them and she's like, "Hoo-yah!" You know, she does all of her ninja karate moves. And the guy's like, "Look, you're doing this wrong. You don't stab someone like that." And so he starts giving her.
said something about street moves. I need street moves.
Yeah, he said, you're all over the place. I can see you coming. You're never going to stab me with this. Right? So then he starts to give her this between walking from the pirate ship.
Well, at first I was like, "Well, teach me," and he's like, "No, no, no,
Nah, I'm not
no,
teaching
I
you.
ain't
Nah,
teaching you."
I am not
I was
teaching
like,
you.
"Come on."
But then he did give her 10 pointers. He said he wasn't teaching her, but then he's like, "You're doing it all wrong. You're all waving around. I can see that. You got to come in real close like this."
coming in close.
So as we're leaving, and now we separate because now we're going up to the rooftop bar, and he's going on his way. You say
Oh.
something to him, and he says goodbye, and I go, "Thanks for the 10 tips on how to stab." And he's like, "You're welcome." He goes off in the night, and
Oh my God! Then we get in the elevator full of 20-somethings.
yes, who aren't amused with us
Yes, they're like, "Oh my God!"
because we're giggling.
Yes, who are these people?
Who are
And
these
why
old
is this
ladies
woman-
giggling?
Yes.
When you're 19,
Dude, I think I forgot my pirate hat too. And I think
Yes.
your name tag was like stuck to the
boat
boat.
permanently. So we're in the elevator, and she's going because now she's got 2 of her swords that she's trying to hold
I
in
really
this
wanted
tiny
to push
elevator.
the button with the tip.
She wants to push the button with the tip. So with the second
Just
tip,
the
that
tip.
she's leaning over, she accidentally, very lightly, stabs me in the stomach.
I thought it was your finger when we went to
All right,
where we were
maybe.
going, but
maybe
it could have
was.
been because
Because don't forget there were 2 swords. One went to my stomach, and I went, "Ow,
Yes, your reaction was like immediately like, "Ow, ow, ow!"
you're stabbing me." You got those 10 tips. And everyone in the elevator is like, "Get me off this elevator."
Yes, and they're literally like the way that you said it. I literally think that some of those 20-somethings thought
Yeah, they're
I
telling a
stabbed you.
story. "Oh, I was in the elevator and this woman stabbed this woman."
I was like, "No, I got new moves." With what kind of sword is it?
A pirate sword.
But what's it called? What's the
Sickle?
It
The
could be,
shape?
Yeah.
Do
If
these have
anybody
different
knows
names?
what this shape is, what kind of sword that is, please chime in.
Long. It's a nice long sword.
As long as
No, a really long sword would be really long. All right.
Yes, I could do some major damage with that. So that's one way to have fun.
So one way to have fun. The other way to have fun is to jump rope with someone who doesn't know how to jump rope.
Man, when I was a kid, we used to do that double dutch.
Yes.
Gosh, and that was so much fun.
Okay.
So tell us about your jump roping experience. I haven't jump roped in a long time.
So this is how it came up. So
You know, jumping on a trampoline makes you want to pee. I feel like I have good
Oh, I don't-
muscles. But when you jump on a trampoline, whatever happens, it just
that
feels
mechanism.
like, makes you feel like, oh my God, I got to go pee.
So I trampoline jump with my nephews a lot because I take them to the trampoline park.
Yes.
So I don't recall that specifically, but I was like, I haven't jump roped in a while, and I'm trying to run again. I'm trying to get to a race in January. So I'm trying to pick up when you're used to walking or do something. Your body has a certain muscle memory, and I need to remember how to lift my knees and run. So I tell myself yesterday,
High step it, high step it.
I'm going to do this with a jump rope. So I'm going to run jump rope up and down my driveway, which I did. Right?
Do you like the run, skip, run, skip, run, skip?
Well, I was like, the skipping doesn't work. It's way too much movement. So I just cadenced it, so I had to high knee it quicker
Yeah.
so that I could pick up the pace. And I was doing that up and down my driveway as a workout. And I thought, if anyone could see me, They would be like, she is an absolute, don't talk to her, don't call her, don't ask her to watch a cat.
You're like, what the
What
hell
is she doing?
doing?
But I was
She's not my neighbor.
Right. But I was, the first couple of times of trying to get the rhythm, I'm laughing at
There
myself.
goes the neighborhood.
Sell the house. Sell the house. And don't call her.
Shut the blinds. George, we need some blinds.
So while I was doing that and I'm like not getting the pace right, I'm laughing at myself. And I thought, oh, was it last summer? I was jump roping as a workout, just in place. And John doesn't jump rope. And so I said, jump in with me, like double dutch.
Yeah.
And he couldn't. So then I was like, all right, jump with me. He couldn't. So then I'm like, put your hands on my waist and close your eyes and feel my body.
The rhythm. Yeah.
And so then he was able to jump rope with me. But it was funny. And I'm like, we should have Val and Rob, you know, Chris and
my
Robyn,
gosh. Yes,
Lenny and Amy see this.
We need to get jump ropes for
and see
Thanksgiving.
John jump roping. Because for
That'd be funny to see
or jump
Chris.
roping with me.
Yes.
Or with Val or
Yes.
something. Yeah.
Yes.
His sister.
And then we need to get the two. We need to get the two long ones so we can go and we'll try that.
And we'll show my nephews how to double
you
dutch.
could be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Helena will know how to double
Oh,
dutch.
that's funny. Hula hoop is one of the things I can't do either.
The really, really big hula hoops are too big.
Yes. I mean, I could
There's
get
a
it.
smaller
I could
one.
get it for a while, but it's something about the movement. My daughter could do it. Like, she could do it. And she could keep it up way longer than I could. And I'm like, it looks like she's barely.
I could only hula hoop in one direction.
Yes. Yes.
So there must be some wires in my brain.
yes.
And that was the other thing about jumping rope and running. I was like, there's a way to do it so your dominant foot is first, and there's a way to do it so you're
non-dominant.
And if I in my head I kept saying, "Don't trip and fall, don't trip and fall, don't trip and fall." Oh, there's a leaf.
my teeth.
Oh
my
God.
teeth.
Yeah, my teeth. But and I was like, wow, you wouldn't think it's just starting with a different foot, but it's all the other mechanicals in my brain that are like the wheels are turning and
Oh, God.
oh my God. So I think
we have to post a video because we're talking about hula hoop. Reminded me of the, is it the Sear wheel? CYR. Go Google it. Look it up. I want one for
it is
Christmas.
people who are inside the hula hoop and they spin around and do all kinds of cool things, but it looks like a
Yes.
elbow cracker, teeth breaker.
Oh my gosh! When he went down, like he went face down, like that thing was spinning, and his whole body, his whole front was going down. And I'm like, boy, if you come out of that thing and fall, it's all over.
It's based on centrifugal
like
force, but
road rash on your forehead.
I felt like the very first time someone was trying to explain centrifugal force and they just put water in a bucket. And I was like, oh, you can trust that? Is a
Right.
thing I don't have to understand 100%, but I
Right.
just have to trust it. And when I saw him, I'm like, oh, trust centrifugal force, trust centrifugal force. Because I'm like, he's going to fall and crack his teeth open.
So I looked it up. So like some of them, so they average.
I guess you
around-
can't crack teeth open, face open.
Well, for me, I probably wear a mouth guard just in case because I'm not
A
that
full face
graceful.
helmet.
But you did ask him, like, can you do that on grass?
Right.
I would
How-
not
how
want
do
to
you
do that on
learn?
pavement for my first time. But I think I could get the hang of it. I want to. But I was going to ask him to try his, but he's like, no. I think he knew it because he's like, no, they have to be specifically made for your
Size.
height and
Weight.
your
Arm reach.
arm reach. I was like, yeah, that's probably not
That
gonna
makes
work.
sense.
Yes.
We're
I'd
glad.
probably have to hold it up like this.
He could have been some dude who was like rolling on your hands.
Oh, that's true.
Some dude like, yeah, go ahead, try it.
Yeah. Have fun with that.
We already went to the
Wait, are
emergency
you wearing a
room
dress?
once. Right. Hey, ma'am. Ma'ams, could you come over here and try this hula hoop?
Yes. Whoa, she doesn't have underwear. Wait.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry.
They were making a line. I hate the lines.
Yes. Yes, you can't, it doesn't
We
matter.
digress.
Yes.
But hula
Dogs.
hooping, back to the
Hula hooping in the Sear wheel. Look at it. I want one. So they run about $1,400.
because they're custom made and they have weights in them and all kinds of fun stuff.
I guess. Or probably just because
Or they're
they
like,
can't.
we're only going to sell 7. They need to be $1,400 to pay for the material.
Yes.
Because no one is going to do this.
Do you have to put it together? They're going to ship it to you like that.
You have to put it together, I'm sure. It's like a 10-foot wheel.
Then you could just make our own. It's got to be some kind of like round pipe or something.
So
but it's probably balanced and all that stuff. You know, it's
Robyn was trying to explain how much fun we had to our spouses about glass blowing, and she's like, I think they would like it. And I said, I don't think that they wouldn't like it,
that's right.
and I don't think that they're not capable. I think that they want to do anything else on their vacation but that. So
I forgot, what did John say last
and
night?
John said, and I know carpentry, but doesn't mean when I do it on vacation. I don't want to whittle anything on vacation.
No whittling.
So he named all the things he didn't want to do. Whittling was one of them. And then I think sear making
Yes.
is one thing Chris is not going to want to do on vacation. Hula hoop wheel making. No.
No, but I want to get one. Then I could pack it, and then I could take it with us. Definitely have to be checking my bags.
I remained silent on the sear thing. I love making John do cartwheels. That's another
Can
thing
John
I do.
do a cartwheel?
He does them.
Yeah, my kids can. Both of my kids can do cartwheels. I don't
Well, he's
know if Chris can do a cartwheel.
In all fairness, I have a big guy. You know,
Yes.
he's like 6'1", 240. He's got wrists and hands that are built for carrying
you don't
heavy
really see gymnasts his
things.
size.
Right, and he's a big dude. He can run fast for
He's
how
like
big
the
he
size
is.
of like 4 gymnasts.
So to ask him to be, and like I said, he played hockey. Let me go back. He played hockey, which
Like a
makes him
bear.
yeah, unbelievably agile. I think hockey players, especially big hockey players, have such a finesse
Yeah.
and smoothness in their body because to not now you're 6'6" or 6'7" on skates or
Yeah,
6'4" or 6'5",
agility.
and you're constantly moving one foot or another. It gives you such good balance. So he is amazingly agile and really fast.
Yeah.
He can run really fast. He could climb a tree really fast. But cartwheels and that kind of stuff, leave him on the ground. Have him carry something.
I know, just because you're big does not mean that you can't be fast.
Yeah.
I mean, look at hippos. Like, they're huge, but they can run like 30 miles an hour.
When they want to.
Right? Yes.
They just don't
But
want
why
to.
would you? Well,
Right.
that's me.
Now, why am I burning that many
I
calories?
could probably run fast too.
I know,
if
and
I wanted.
I know that I can't ask you to train running with me because I know how much you hate running.
Oh God, I can speed walk with you.
Speed walking makes me feel like I should just run. It's so uncomfortable.
Yes. Especially like when they do it for like an Olympic sport, like they are like throwing the hips way out. Bam, bam.
And I think, are you losing anything in the fluidity of that motion? Are you losing energy? Just like when we had the MMA fighter on, and I was saying, when you jump around the cage like a lunatic, you could be exciting yourself with adrenaline, or you could be bleeding out
True.
anxiety or energy too. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I actually have to ask Chris if he knows how to do a cartwheel.
So we make Lenny and Amy do them. There's always sunset pictures of us, tops of bars, cartwheel, and we do them coming together so we all pass over each other. And John does do them.
That's awesome. I'm gonna.
I will show you a
Yeah.
video. I want to do a compilation video of all of them at some point. And there'll be some age where we can't do cartwheels anymore. So cartwheeling age cartwheel.
That's true. That's true. I used to could do a one-handed cartwheel.
I used to
I
be
think
able to do
I
one.
feel like I still could.
I can't do.
Can do a round
Flips.
off.
Yeah, but I couldn't do flips because my spine didn't bend enough, so my feet would be on the ground at the same time.
Like
my
a
hand.
back walkover.
Yes.
I used to could do it. If I could, it's better if you do it with your feet uphill.
Oh, that makes sense. So you could lift yourself.
Well, so then when your hands are lower than your
Yes.
your hands are lower than your feet, and so it's easier to get that
Momentum.
going. That centrifugal force.
Okay. So how do you guys know how to have fun? Do you even care about fun at this time of your life?
I think you should. I think that's one of the things that you should always be number one on your list.
Yes, is to have fun. And if you don't know how to have fun, how would you go about? If you didn't know, you're like, I landed on this planet. What's a good time on this planet? What would you do?
What would I do? Well, it depends. Well, like I think golfing is fun, and I think the way that we golf is fun.
The way you golf is more fun than anyone's having on a
Yes,
golf
it's
course. I will tell you that right now.
Yes, we do have a lot of fun. Anything. I think that I have fun. It's my community where I have fun, but I have fun doing my own thing. Like I have fun painting. I have fun leaf blowing. Because I think a lot of it is not so much what you do; it's how you go about doing it. It's about what you bring to the table.
And I have a different answer, but go ahead.
But
I wanna-
so I don't know. I would do like I love adventures, so I
Mm.
would go on an adventure. Whether it would be like I loved what we did. We did the helicopter. You know, we did the helicopter ride. We did the pirate ship. You know, even just walking and exploring new places, going down to Boston for the day and exploring new areas, or going to an art festival, and just any of those things. I would think that would be fun. Skydiving. I don't know about skydiving.
It's
but
so funny that a sound comes to mind for me where music has to be involved.
yes.
I remember music always being almost a prelude to fun. And I don't know if that's because we played music in the house. You know, we had a remember
Yep.
a record player.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes if I was left alone, I would just put on the record player and dance around the house.
Yes.
So there's
Risky business.
Yeah. Yeah, probably I was only in my underwear, top and an underwear. I didn't wear pants a lot when I was young. You know, I'm sure. But that I remember dancing. I remember using the movement of my body, and the sound of music was happy to me.
Yes.
So I always associate fun to concerts. If I heard music,
Yes.
like I can't tell you how many times we would walk somewhere and I would hear through the sound of glass or door, and you'd hear the thump beat of a
Yes.
bass, and you'd be like, "Ooh, what's in
Or
there?"
even in the summer, you can hear like just at distance, like somebody's outside partying, and I'm
Yes.
like, ooh,
You
let's
hear
go crash that
music
party.
and laughter, and yeah.
Yes.
So to me, if I was from another planet,
music, dancing.
I would be like, "Where's sound?
Yes.
Fun sound."
Yes.
That would be one thing. That would be one indicator.
Yes. I think just activity. So like, because I think about it, like, oh my gosh,
But there are people who will say, "Oh, I couldn't find fun in hiking, or I couldn't find fun in
oh god,
any kind of physical activity." And then I think you're not doing it with the right people. Maybe do it in a group.
yeah.
Be-
Well, so I think it's kind of on the same thread. I asked somebody the other day, how much time do you set aside? Like, we get so busy and we get so caught up in our life that we forget that we're other people. Meaning that we forget to be a mom, we forget to be a dad, we forget to be a spouse, we forget to be, do we walk in the door and like, oh, okay, so now it's my time? So when we show up when we
See, but I
open-
hate those labels. I'm always trying to shrug off those labels. I don't want to just be the X or the X.
Well,
I want an integrated version of me.
but then how else would you do it? Like if you're saying,
So showing up as a friend, you mean?
just showing up. All right, so let me just explain what I mean, and then you tell me.
Yep.
So when you're getting ready for work in the morning and you walk in the door, to your office, now you're your office person. Now you're, I'm at work.
Yes.
So you present yourself
Yeah,
that
my
way.
work persona.
Right. So your business, your professional, your attitude, your mentality, what you're bringing through the doors is professionalism, your business mindset, your work ethic, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
But how many times when you walk in the door to being like, hey, now I'm me. Now I get a chance to be me. Whether that's, or when you have little
Unloading the dishwasher me and the laundry me.
No, I was
I'm
thinking
only
like,
kind of like kidding.
I'm free.
Oh, yes. I
Yeah,
understand.
I'm free. I don't have to be like, who can I be?
I gotcha.
And being, so like when I said being a mom or being a dad or being, how much time to be like, hey, now I really need to put into this area of my life. I've committed.
So
to,
when do you just get to be
I've-
Robyn
I've-
and not a mom and not a wife?
But even that, sometimes we don't. There's a lot of times that, people come home from work and they sit on the couch and they'll crack a beer and like, yeah, like, well, my spouse will take care of that. And, I'll come in and kiss the kids goodnight. And like, no, but you've also made an obligation to be a parent. So you are responsible for shaping, forming this human being. You have an obligation to do that. Or say your relationship, your marriage, you have an obligation to say, what am I bringing to the table? I have an expectation of this person. we all have expectations of our partners, that we expect them to show up or do something for us, or,
Be the person we fell in love with.
well, we make agreements.
Yeah.
So we make agreements in our relationships that, hey, you're going to take care of the trash. I will take care of the dishes. You're going to work outside of the home. I'll work inside of the home. Or I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to be a safe space for you. Or, so when do we ever put on that hat and say, hey, right now I need to show up as a partner. My spouse or my significant other needs me to be their other half. Like, how many times do we say that? How many times do we slip into that role? So how that comes back into bringing fun. Like, I feel like I have...
You could be fun mom.
I
fun
feel like
spouse.
I have a responsibility to my family. We've made an agreement. I mean, well, my kids didn't. I mean,
I made it for them.
I
as
made
their
it for
parent.
them, saying I'm going to be, I'm going to have kids.
And they're going to love me.
And that might
the
suck
last
for
thing they
you,
do.
but I'm your parent. But here we go. But no, I feel like we all have when we live under the same roof, we all have a sense of responsibility and obligation to ourselves and to each other to bring a good temperature,
And
to set a good temperature. And so that's part of being fun. Like, what part of...
right, it's there is times to be serious, but there's also times to be light and fun.
Right.
And when I had look at handsome in a tie showing up after the election.
Jim.
One of the things that is funny, my spouse was picking up his motorcycle and the guy was changing a shifter, and I joke around, I grab my flashlight and I'm like, hey, let me flash because it's dark at 4 o'clock now. Hey, let me flash a flashlight for you. Even though my father and my spouse would tell you I don't know how to do it right. But I was making a joke because I think anyone who ever holds flashlights for other people gets the joke that they're never holding the flashlight properly.
Right.
I don't think that's universal to male or female. So I thought I was making a joke.
Yes.
And my spouse whispers to the guy, she wants for nothing. Pay no attention to her. And then I start laughing. I'm like, oh, my joke missed the mark. But here's my flashlight. And we even joke because he gave me that flashlight. Like, she wants for nothing. The flashlight she's holding for you is my flashlight.
Right.
If she wanted it in orange, she got an orange one.
Wait, you wanted an orange flashlight? Why not purple or
I
pink?
wanted. I really like orange. I really do like orange and that kind of stuff. And I had an orange knife already.
Well, that's true. It's easy to find.
And that's the thing in a purse. Orange is a really great color.
So's pink.
I don't like pink. It's too
Actually, I'm not
girly.
Well,
I don't like oh, this is the girl gun. Make it pink.
that's
No,
true.
I don't want someone being afraid, thinking my gun's not real. Give me camo.
Yes.
Give me
Yes. Matte
plain
black
old matte black.
or shiny silver.
Yes.
I would do it
Chrome
like a
nickely.
Yes, I
Yes.
want like a silver, like a shiny silver revolver.
We can get you that.
But I want to be able, when it flops, I want to have, it's got to have good spin on it when you spin.
They all have good spin.
Well, sometimes, but I like I like the click, click, click. I like that sound of it when you spin
Revolvers are very hard when you shoot in my hand.
Yeah.
I feel like you feel the kickback and everything so much more, and I feel like I have delicate hands.
Yeah.
I like a
Yeah.
9mm better,
Yeah.
personally. But we digress.
I know.
But that's fun. Shooting's fun.
Here we
Building
are.
a skill.
Yes.
Actually, it is really fun.
So it doesn't really matter what you do. I think it's more about the energy that you bring.
Oh, but to my point last night, my joke didn't land, right? And I
Yes.
could have been offended that my joke was stupid, or just be like, no, don't tell the joke again.
Yeah, yeah.
You can have another joke later.
Yes.
Try your hand at that
Yeah.
later. Because I
Yeah,
do
that one.
think to be fun, you have to be a little bit charming.
Yes.
And I think I blamed COVID. I blame elections cycles. It makes us less charming. Because one of the things is we hate that guy, we hate that girl, we hate them, and it's like, okay, I get that. It's easier to hate someone than to understand their position, especially if it differs from
Right.
you and all of that other stuff. But when did we lose the art of charm? When you went out in the world, you were a more charming version of yourself,
Right.
so people didn't throw tomatoes at you.
And I think that we should be charming for our people.
We should definitely be charming, if for no one else.
Right.
For our people.
And just so being in service. And it's like, so why do we change? Why do we change?
It's exhausting.
When we're dating. But so when we're dating our person, and we put our best foot forward,
Because we're trying to win.
and we
We're
show
like,
up,
I want you to love me. look at this, look how smart and funny.
But
And
why does it have to change? Why does it have to change?
sometimes it's changing because the person's lying to you a little bit because they might not like the things you like as much, but they want to spend time with you, so they're lying
True.
about liking things.
I do. I think Chris used to lie. I think he lied to me about how much he liked
Shopping.
watching me dress in going
He
shopping with me.
He liked watching you undress.
Oh my gosh, I have a picture of him. He's got like his arm is like loaded down with dresses, and he liked to, he's like to sit in the waiting, in the dressing room.
There's some element
He's
of
definitely
him.
gotten kicked out of quite a few dressing rooms, but there's a lot of people that have been cool about it, like,
Yeah, but there is, he does like providing for you and for you to be happy. So he
Yeah.
does take some pleasure, but he just doesn't want to do it to the extent.
right.
You want to do it 6 times a
Right.
week. He wants to do it once a year.
But what I'm saying, yes. But things
I
like
got you,
that,
Chris.
that
I'm
we-
sticking up for you over here. Don't you worry, Chris. I'm not letting her. I'm holding a wall for you,
I
Chris.
got you, boo.
She can shop with me. She doesn't need
Yes.
you shopping.
Yes.
Shop with me.
And I won't
Okay,
get kicked
next
out.
point.
And I won't get kicked out of your dressing room.
Yeah, you won't get kicked out of my dressing room.
No, like not us specifically, but why do we look at we've talked about it before. Look at how many times people go out to restaurants and they are on their phone.
Oh,
Like you're literally paying to go on a date. And then what they'll do is they'll do a selfie and they're like date night, and it's the only time that you've interacted. They post it on social media, and like then they go back to silence.
When I see families on vacation on their phones and iPads, it is so infuriating because it's like, you know how much money and energy and effort goes into planning a vacation, paying for a vacation. Be in the vacation.
Right. Yes.
And I will admit I had a guilt about this. I used to love to read on vacation, love reading on the beach, love. And my spouse said, "Hey, you're not present. You're in some story." And I was like, "I know, but I love to read on the beach."
That's true.
But then I was like, you know what? He is right. Let me be more present. This is only 7 days I can read.
And then what happens when Lisa doesn't read? We walk 7.5 miles on the beach.
And we play volleyball. Now you have to play volleyball on the beach. Now you have to go snorkeling, and you have to go swimming, and you have to try paddleboarding, and you have to get on a boat, and you have to rent a jet ski. You should just leave me on the beach. It's so much cheaper.
And we have to
with a book.
right. And we have to research all the rooftop bars, what comedy shows are coming, where we
How to
can
go to
get-
a concert.
where we can get bike rentals.
Just let me have a book. You guys can all lie quietly. That's all your faults. I hold no responsibility
So
for
I guess
this.
the thing is, like, what I try to do in my life is like every moment is an experience.
It is, and when I was saying to you, no one could have disaster fun but us, I truly meant that.
I agree.
I feel like life is a
I'm
series
down.
of beautiful things and disasters. But I
Yes.
want you in my life all of the time.
Yes. Yes.
Because not only will you make the great times more great, you will make disaster better.
Yes.
Like I have you on, and that's I think that's real friendship, and that we
Disaster relief.
right.
You want to ride or die.
Right.
Who's willing to do disaster relief with
And
you?
and the thing is, we got confused by the amount of followers. We all want 1 million people on our Facebook and 1 million people on our Instagram and viral this and viral that. Be more concerned that you have the person when you're broken down on the side of the road that you can call.
Yeah.
We have AAA. I've always had AAA.
Yeah.
Because I've had 19 years old in my own life without people I could call to help me with this car that breaks down every 20 minutes or when it rains. So I got AAA. You can get AAA.
Oh my God, it was the seal in one of my cars. It would leak, and literally the first time it happened, I literally got in, and the water was over my shoes. It would just puddle in the floorboard all the time, and I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me!" Of course, you're running late, and I'm like, "Yeah, those are the days."
Yeah. So, but you want people that when you have a problem, you call them, and it would be great if those people knew how to make you laugh in that moment.
Yes.
I had a friend going through a divorce, and when we would call, you'd always try to make sure there's something funny in this.
Yes.
You have to laugh at
Yes.
the misery in life. Hopefully you can laugh by yourself. Hopefully you can laugh with the close people around you.
Well, I think, healthcare workers and first responders, a lot of times people think that they have a very dark sense of humor, but sometimes, you're dealing with a lot of stuff. In order to not absorb it all, you have to kind of laugh about it. I remember when I was at the lab and I would be, I would share stories. He'd come home and, he would say, "Oh, why would you, that's so rude, or that's so mean," and I'm like, wow. I'm in this all day, and I hear all people talking. Like, I hear a lot of doctors and nurses and stuff. It's blowing off steam. It doesn't mean it's not. It's harmless. It's it's a coping mechanism. It is. It's a coping
And the
mechanism.
more serious something is, the more you want to laugh.
Yes.
And that's why I really love when comedians are doing impressions of people and all of that stuff, because you need to also, we all cry.
It's a great reminder
You
to, like,
need
to not
laughing.
take your life. You don't your life so seriously. Don't take life so seriously. Don't take yourself so seriously. I think one of the best things that we can do for ourselves is to have the ability to laugh at ourselves.
Yes, and practice being charming.
Well,
That is a muscle. I think
Yes.
we could almost do a whole hour on charming and charm, but we have an actually very charming guest coming on. We
Yes.
have we went shopping at a new boutique in Manchester called Peridot.
Oh my gosh, I should have told her to bring that little purse with a bow.
Oh, you should have. We can go shopping there again.
Yeah.
I am wearing the skirt today. From there, I'm wearing my top from Baubles and Lace. This is from a boutique in Bedford that I got several years ago, and I bring it out every year.
Alapage?
No, the other one. Joseph something. I'll look it up.
Joseph Banks? Radcliffe? Anywho, we digress. So tell us, who is our special guest?
So I am trying to see. Let's see. We've got Danielle Goldberg and Melissa Baker, and they are on the way to the studio. We're going to go to the top of the hour shortly for our top of the hour news and a few sponsorship commercials. But we will have them when we come on. We're gonna talk about shopping a little bit, fashion,
clothes.
holidays, what to wear for your holidays, and also how to have a good time. I imagine opening a business like this must be a business of their dreams, and that's how we incorporate fun into our everyday life, is by work also being fun.
Yes.
Work also being a good time.
Yes.
And then anything else you want to say about fun before we wrap off to the top of the hour?
No, when we come back, I will break down my outfit for you. How I felt about it.
we
I just actually looked on our photo. I was like checking to see if anybody had commented about what they do for fun, or the name of the sword, the type of sword. And I saw our picture and I was like, I think I have a Halloween costume on. I'll tell you what I felt like when we come back from the break, walking down the road.
Well, it's funny because I'm wearing a skirt and I'm wearing tights underneath it, and the thing that panics me the most about wearing a skirt and tights is tucking my skirt into my tights in the bathroom. So if you see me, I'm always like swiping down my butt, swiping down my butt,
Swipe
swiping
down
my butt.
It's not swipe left, swipe right.
So thank you for tuning into the first hour of Lisa and Robyn on the mic on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live, as well as Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Stay tuned to the news at the top of the hour, and we will be coming back with our guests from Peridot Boutique in Manchester, New Hampshire. See you in a moment.